Hello, Star Citizens. Buzzkiller here, and welcome back to my hangar. So for today's video, we're taking a look at the Freelancer Max. Now, like the Constellation and Cutlass lineup, the Freelancer lineup is currently going through a bit of an overhaul. And that is to update the design, a few of the design elements, such as the turret placement and accessibility, which I'll show you here in a little bit. Probably going to upgrade the cargo area to bring it in line with the cargo system, and bring it in line also with the new weapon sizing system. Now, the Freelancer Max is the dedicated cargo hauler or transport of the Freelancer lineup. It's 32 meters in length, has a mass of 32,000 kilos, a max crew of 2, and a cargo capacity of 123 standard cargo units. Now, that is the new cargo measurement that was released with the Hull series of ships. And that is actually double what your standard Freelancer can carry. So along with that, it comes with 4 TR4 main thrusters, and you can see 2 of them here, 2 on each wing pylon. And that is, of course, 2 more than any other Freelancer in the line. Also, it comes with, oh, and by the way, those TR4 engines can be upgraded to TR5. But it also comes with, well, the stats page says 8 TR2 maneuvering thrusters, which would bring it in line to the equivalent of a Super Hornet or Hornet. But actually modeled on the ship right now, I've counted 16 maneuvering thrusters, and that's not even counting 4 retro thrusters on the front of the engines. I believe those would be retro thrusters there. So possibly even more than that. And then, of course, I don't know what these are. These could be thrusters too, so I may have to update that count to 18, 20 thrusters. Now those, of course, seem like they'd be fixed, but pretty good for lateral movement. But moving on, the ship comes with a size 4 power plant with a capability of being upgraded to a size 6, and a size 3 shield with the capability of being upgraded to a size 4. For weapons, the ship comes with, on the stats page, 2 size 3 missile pylons, but it looks like that might be your size 3. These are, of course, placeholder missiles, but it might have more than that. I don't know if this is final or if all of these are placeholder, but that looks like it would be a size 3, and these would probably be size 2. So probably 4 size 2 missile pylons and 2 size 3. For guns, it has, of course, the 2 size 4 manned turrets, and that's unmanned turrets, I'm sorry, and that's using the old system. These guns themselves are currently, well, they're of course placeholders as well, but those are supposed to be size 4 guns. That'll probably be downgraded in the future with a new weapon system. I wouldn't be surprised if they max these out at a size 3 with a size 4 unmanned turret. And of course, it comes with a size 1 man turret. Now, of course, that's size 1 is again in the old system. You can barely see it up there. I'll show it to you when we do get inside it and do an external view. So that would have to be a minimum of a size 3 turret. So a size 3 turret minus 1 for manned would bring it to size 2. With 2 weapons would be size 1. With the new system. I really like the look of this ship, the silver and blue. Well, the base aluminum, I guess you couldn't really call that silver. It's got a real beat up appearance. But it looks like a real freighter, something that could, like a work truck, you know? Now I was tempted to melt this ship and get a Hull B to replace it, because the Hull B carries much more cargo than this ship. But then I was thinking I might lose the versatility of the Freelancer. This is going to be a great ship for moving cargo through more or less regulated space if you will. And it'll also have the capability of being outfitted like the Freelancer Dur to be an explorer. So this will be a heavier explorer than the Dur, of course, with its larger cargo area and bigger engines. But, so I decided to go ahead and hold on to it for now. Let's take a look inside. Now the entryway is via the front landing gear, these steps, similar to the MISC C and above. It looks like they have the same type of system. And the first thing that strikes me when I walk into this cab is it's very tight, it's very utilitarian, it's a very good use of space. And even though it has a max crew of 2, you have 4 seats just in the cockpit area, with room for a 5th, of course, in the rear man turret. So this ship should be fairly easy to run with a slightly larger crew. The control system looks really good. This is probably the, is it Banu or Xeon technology? I think it's Xeon or Xion, however you want to pronounce it, technology in the cockpit here. Probably why it has such different flight controls than any other ship. Let's go ahead and sit down in the pilot seat here. Well, it looks like we still have the bug where we sink down kind of low into the seat. I thought they fixed that, but I guess they only did it on the Cutlasses. But as you can see, the controls actually do work. That's your roll left and right. To pitch down, you pull back. To pitch up, you push forward. And let's see if I can, there we go. That would be yaw. Yaw left and yaw right. So a pretty interesting flight control yoke there. You stand up. And of course you also have your extra crew member seats, pilot, co-pilot. These guys would probably be running your power system or shields if you even need them. I mean, a ship this size you probably won't need that granular control, but it'd be nice to have that ability built in. Directly behind the flight cabin we have the sleeping quarters, and there are actually 4 bunks here. You have 2 on top and 2 behind these little pseudo privacy blinds here. As you can see, when you get in, they do open up to allow you access, then close. And then you have your little display, possibly for monitoring systems while you're in your bunk. Pretty nice. It looks like, not sure what that green stuff is over there, probably some additional personal storage of some sort. Very cool. I really like these floors, by the way. The floors just have a sort of a grate, and you can see through them a bit to the outer hull. Or I'm assuming it's the outer hull. But pretty neat. Very, very industrial looking. Oops. And of course you have your top bunk. I'll try to get up there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. It looks like your crew members up top don't have a display screen or as much privacy. There we go. To the rear of the sleeping area, you have some kind of folded up workstation here that you can actually open up and sit down. Not sure what the function would be for this particular workstation. Maybe something to do with exploring, cartography, who knows. But with the multi-crew systems they're coming out with, I'm sure you can find something for these guys to do. Let's see if we can close that up without sitting down on it. There we go. And behind that we have a combination shower toilet. Again, a very, very efficient use of space. This is a very small ship. I'm trying to get up there now, it's not letting me. There we go. There's your shower head. And if I can get it to open, your other head, your toilet. And across from that, you have your little sink area. So not a bad ship for exploring or very long cargo hauls. Now moving back, we have this sort of intermediate area. Now some people think this is another cargo area. I'm not so sure. I think it's probably used more as an airlock, because if you close this door you have a very small area and then you have a hatch up here and what looks like a retracted ladder of some sort. That looks like that would fold down and then extend to allow you access to the top hatch. I kind of like that design. It reminds me of the hatch on the Millennium Falcon. If you've watched Empire Strikes Back, when they're rescuing Luke from below Cloud City, has that sort of shape to it. And then we have the cargo hold. Now if you've ever seen any other Freelancers, you'd know that this is absolutely massive compared to the other cargo holds. And there's a few missing textures here on the cables. But most Freelancers, well, you see this little walkway here. Most Freelancers, that's your entire cargo hold. This is double that. And it has more of those grates that you can sort of see through. Very cool. I'm not sure what's going on here. In the other Freelancers, this section matches the rest of the ship. In the Freelancer Max, for some reason, it has this chrome texture to it. My camera's kind of jittering a little. But I believe that's the main spire. I believe the engines pivot at that point. So that would probably be some kind of huge axle / actuator for the main thrusters, which are supposed to be able to pivot down for landing. If you've seen the Freelancer Max video, or Freelancer commercial, excuse me. And then moving back, you have your turret, which you can't actually get up in. I'll show you that. I can actually get up there using clipping through the model and using track IR to turn around. It's pretty cool. And then you have your main cargo door. It's on these huge pistons. It actually looks pretty cool when it opens up. Let me go ahead and do that. And it has more of that see-through grating, and you can actually see these extensions fold out as the door opens. Now there's a bug with the other Freelancers where you can't actually walk on this particular section, but for some reason it the Max is fine. It actually works. Let me move back up to the cockpit. And sit down and go to an external view. Remember the maneuvering thrusters I was talking about? Well, there's two there up front. Two here. These seem somewhat a little bit smaller. Two more there, medium size. Two more. Those are pretty big. Two more there. So I may have miscounted. So let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 just on the bottom. 2 there for 12. 14. I'm guessing these are maneuvering thrusters, so 16 and 18. These things, which look like maneuvering thrusters, fixed for 20, 22. Well, then again, maybe it's not a maneuvering thruster, because look, the missile's right there. If that maneuvering thruster fired, that would be bad. And then, of course, let me turn here. The two retro thrusters. So 22, 24, 26. That's a lot of maneuvering thrusters modeled in versus the 8 shown on the stat page. Now, the cockpit itself has a pretty small pane window. You can't really see that much. Has a little skylight here. And it looks like that black piece may actually slide up and cover that. So if you're ever in a combat situation, you need a little more armor for your cockpit, perhaps that'll slide forward and cover those. Of course, such a small viewing pane makes for not so great viewing angles from the cockpit, but it's a cargo ship, so I'm not expecting too much there. Here's that manned turret I was telling you about with its 2 size 1 placeholder weapons here. And let me cut for a minute as I situate the camera inside. And here we are in the turret. Let me use track IR to look around. See, we actually have a bit of a little targeting panel there and controls. Not a bad view for a turret. Spin around this way. Not bad. There you go. That just about wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like or subscribe button. And once the new Freelancer comes out, I will give you a new tour and show you whatever updates they come up with. So once again, this has been Buzzkiller. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the verse.